Picture yourself in 1957 America, standing in an automobile showroom with substantial funds at your disposal. Purchasing a Cadillac required only financial resources. Visit the dealer, sign the paperwork, drive away. But acquiring a Dual-Ghia, that demanded something money couldn't guarantee: permission. Not from a corporate board or celebrity spokesperson, but from an individual most Americans had never encountered: Eugene Casserole, who operated a transportation logistics company. This wasn't marketing theater or manufactured scarcity. This represented Dual-Ghia Corporation's actual business philosophy. Every vehicle constituted a personal endorsement, an intimate agreement extended exclusively to carefully chosen individuals. How did a Detroit-based transportation enterprise create an automobile that captured the attention of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin? Why did Hollywood's most successful figures view Dual-Ghia ownership as validation of achievement rather than ostentatious display? Today we're exploring an extraordinary period when American prosperity met European craftsmanship, examining Dual-Ghia, the most spectacular, excessive, and ephemeral collaboration between American and Italian automotive culture. The post-war American dream meets Italian craftsmanship following World War II's conclusion. The United States experienced unprecedented transformation. Detroit's industrial facilities, recently producing military hardware like tanks and aircraft power plants, redirected their capabilities towards civilian automobile manufacturing. Economic prosperity flourished. Interstate highway systems expanded dramatically. Within American consciousness, automobiles transcended mere transportation functionality. They became expressions of personal identity and social status. Eugene Casserole occupied this intersection, though his background differed significantly from typical automotive industry figures. He wasn't a stylist creating elegant lines or an industrial magnate commanding vast manufacturing operations. Casserole's expertise lay in transportation logistics. He comprehended supply chains, understood structural materials, and recognized one fundamental reality. While Detroit excelled at engineering powerful machinery, European designers could infuse vehicles with distinctive character and aesthetic refinement. His opportunity emerged from an abandoned design concept: Chrysler Corporation's Fire Arrow show car. This styling exercise proved too adventurous for mass-market production, yet far too visually striking to simply discard and forget. Casserole perceived potential for a vehicle targeting highly selective buyers, rather than general consumers. Realizing this vision required Italian design expertise, leading him to Turin, Italy's renowned automotive styling capital, where he partnered with Ghia. During this era, Italian coach builders enjoyed international reputation as masters of aerodynamic sculpture and harmonious proportions. Their methodology didn't involve computer algorithms but relied instead on intuitive understanding, clay modeling, and skilled handwork. Casserole's directive was precisely defined: American mechanical strength underneath, Italian aesthetic elegance above. A Mopar V8 engine would provide distinctive American power beneath the elongated hood, while the bodywork would be hand-formed with the precision of Milanese tailoring. Following transatlantic agreements and negotiations, the project advanced beyond conceptual drawings and conference room discussions toward physical reality. The transatlantic manufacturing journey: each Dual-Ghia began its existence in America, starting with a Dodge chassis foundation and a Veit-Hart embodying pure Detroit engineering philosophy. However, instead of proceeding to conventional dealership distribution, these mechanical platforms were meticulously packaged, secured in protective shipping crates, loaded aboard ocean vessels, and transported across the Atlantic to Turin. This logistical approach remains extraordinarily unconventional, even by contemporary standards. Upon arrival in Italy, those bare chassis assemblies were delivered to Ghia's craftsmen. No robotic automation existed, no assembly line conveyor systems. Each aluminum or steel panel was individually shaped over wooden forming bucks. Every hammer blow reflected generations of accumulated expertise. Hundreds of labor hours contributed to creating a single bodywork that major manufacturers like Ford Motor Company or General Motors accomplished through stamping processes in mere minutes. This painstaking attention continued throughout interior construction. Authentic cannoli leather was hand-cut and meticulously stitched. The engine-turned aluminum dashboard reflected illumination with the precision of Swiss watchmaking. Every component received finishing appropriate for vehicles destined for a remarkably exclusive ownership circle, not mass-market consumers. Once body construction reached completion, the Dual-Ghia was shipped back to America for final engine installation, mechanical tuning, and delivery to its approved owner. The financial cost of this perfection reached 7x100 equivalent to purchasing a middle-class residence in 1956. Yet Dual-Ghia never required conventional advertising campaigns. Eugene Casserole understood one principle with absolute clarity: for vehicles born from perfectionism and deliberate scarcity, inaccessibility itself constituted the most powerful attraction. Consequently, he didn't accept mass orders through traditional sales channels. He selected buyers personally. This selection process inadvertently carried Dual-Ghia into the most influential circles of late 1950s American society. Hollywood royalty and political power, the most significant and influential early owner was Frank Sinatra. During this period, Sinatra transcended simple celebrity status. As a popular singer, he represented his generation's voice, embodying idealized American masculinity, confident, experienced, requiring no justification. When Sinatra selected Dual-Ghia, he drove it with the same deliberate precision he applied to wearing custom-tailored suits, understated yet unmistakable. From the moment this automobile appeared alongside him in Beverly Hills or Palm Springs, Dual-Ghia became associated with a very specific social stratum, individuals who had already surpassed the necessity of proving themselves. Dean Martin brought contrasting character to Dual-Ghia's image. Where Sinatra projected disciplined sophistication, Martin embodied effortless, unapologetic relaxation. For Martin, Dual-Ghia wasn't merely transportation, it represented integral components of Rat Pack lifestyle, where premium spirits, laughter, and Hollywood glamour seamlessly blended. Martin's Dual-Ghia even appeared in the motion picture Kiss Me, Stupid. On screen, the vehicle required no spoken lines. Its visual presence alone communicated character traits, affluence, carefree attitude, and complete situational control. This represented advertising value no marketing budget could purchase, but Dual-Ghia's reach extended beyond entertainment circles into political spheres. Ronald Reagan, then maintaining dual careers as actor and emerging politician, also owned one. Reagan appreciated Dual-Ghia's refinement qualities. However, as his political trajectory gained seriousness, the vehicle became an image liability to Hollywood, too unconventional for someone constructing a national leadership persona. Reagan was compelled to sell it, a decision motivated by strategic calculation rather than emotional preference. Among upper-class circles, a particular saying circulated: Rolls-Royce is for the newly wealthy. Dual-Ghia is for those who have already arrived. Evolution to maturity. The Dual-Ghia 400 by the late 1950s, Eugene Casserole recognized that Dual-Ghia couldn't survive indefinitely on Hollywood convertible imagery alone. Consumer preferences were shifting. Affluent buyers increasingly sought something more understated, more substantial, more mature. From this understanding emerged the Dual-Ghia 400, technically designated L6. This represented a genuine hardtop coupe configuration. The Dual-Ghia 400 completely abandoned the soft flowing contours characterizing earlier convertible generations. Bodywork became sharper and more assertive, featuring a solid hardtop roof, substantial C-pillars, and planar body surfaces conveying strength and permanence. This design language perfectly captured late 1950s zeitgeist, a moment when flamboyance began yielding to discipline and modernist sensibility. Though still hand-constructed at Carrozzeria Ghia, the Dual-Ghia 400 projected more serious presence than any previous model from the marque. Interior environments remained, where Dual-Ghia expressed its perfectionist obsession. Genuine leather received hand upholstery, with deeply cushioned seats providing mobile living room comfort. The engine-turned aluminum dashboard persisted, but with cleaner, more mature layout, less ostentatious, prioritizing long-distance driving comfort. Beneath the hood sat the Chrysler 38.3 cubic-inch V8, among the most powerful and refined engines Chrysler Corporation produced during that period. Power delivery arrived rapidly, smoothly, and quietly, befitting refined luxury coupe character rather than machinery designed for muscular exhibition. However, this refinement's price exceeded all previous models. Angular design complexity, intricate construction methodology, and uncompromising build standards drove production costs sharply upward. Simultaneously, the American market opened to European sports car influx. Names like Ferrari and Maserati no longer seemed exotic, offering something Dual-Ghia couldn't provide: pure athletic performance combined with established international brand prestige. Only 26 Dual-Ghia 400s reached completion. Each represented a final statement that Casserole and Ghia had attempted adaptation but refused compromise. The inevitable collapse. Dual-Ghia's demise didn't result from customer shortage. Individuals who understood these vehicles' value still existed. The fundamental problem lay elsewhere in perfection's price. Each Dual-Ghia constituted an intercontinental odyssey. Chassis departed America. Bodies received hand fabrication in Italy. Completed vehicles returned to the United States for final assembly. Complex logistics, substantial transportation expenses, extended timelines, everything transformed each automobile into a financial equation nearly impossible to balance profitably. In a world increasingly valuing efficiency and economies of scale, Dual-Ghia moved against prevailing currents. Concurrently, America's economy began cooling after post-war boom years. The 1958 recession made even affluent buyers more cautious. Hand-constructed automobiles priced equivalently to middle-class homes became emotional purchases even for elite consumers. But the most critical factor was human. Eugene Casserole wasn't a corporate entity with succession planning. He was the project's central coordinator. As Casserole's health deteriorated, Dual-Ghia lost its essential orchestrator. No succession team existed, no long-term strategic framework, because from inception, Dual-Ghia had never been constructed as sustainable commercial enterprise. Final production numbers clarified this reality. Approximately 17 early Dual-Ghia vehicles and 26 Dual-Ghia 400s reached completion volume insufficient for commercial success designation, yet far too exceptional to constitute failure. Ultimately, Casserole reached a difficult conclusion. Dual-Ghia couldn't expand without sacrificing its essential character. He chose termination while the dream retained beauty, legacy, the weight of authenticity today. Dual-Ghia no longer travels Sunset Boulevard as everyday transportation. These automobiles appear in formal settings beneath gentle illumination at Pebble Beach concours d'elegance, displayed at prestigious collector car auctions where individual examples command prices approaching $500. Or $. These valuations don't merely reflect monetary worth, they reflect rarity of a philosophical approach that has vanished. An era when individuals accepted financial losses in exchange for aesthetic beauty. When automobiles were created by craftspeople for discerning owners, not for market demographics. Surviving Dual-Ghias today serve as final witnesses to that era. You can physically touch genuine leather darkened through decades. You can hear doors close with solid, substantial weight without artificial acoustic engineering. You can experience something contemporary. Automobiles have lost the gravity of authenticity. Dual-Ghia features no touchscreen interfaces, no select-able drive modes, no over-the-air software updates. What it possesses is time, hundreds of hours of skilled hand labor and conviction that automobiles can reflect their creator's character. Perhaps this explains Dual-Ghia's enduring remembrance. Not because it achieved maximum velocity, not because it offered ultimate convenience, but because it represents a rare moment when luxury was defined by emotional resonance rather than specification sheets. If you could transcend time, settling behind a Dual-Ghia steering wheel in 1957, cruising slowly along Sunset Boulevard as twilight descends, what soundtrack would you select? Perhaps low, atmospheric jazz, a familiar vocalist, or would you simply allow the V8 engine's distinctive rumble to narrate its own story? If you remember vanished names, automakers who dared pursue ambitious visions before quietly departing, share those memories. If you believe these narratives deserve preservation, engage with communities dedicated to automotive history. This represents merely one chapter in an extensive series about automobile brands that disappeared but never truly ceased existing. Their legacy persists in collector garages, at concours events, and in memories of those who understood that sometimes the journey matters more than market success.